What's going on, everybody? This is Jay Leno, and I'm here to give you my review of the new The Crow trailer that just released March 2024. And not just reacting to this trailer, but kind of give you guys a little bit of an in-depth background slash origin of the Crow period. So a lot of people are very unfamiliar with his background and history. They believe, some people may be mistaken to believe, that the Crow series started with the movie that came out in 1994, where Brandon Lee, aka one of Bruce Lee's son, had played that particular character in 1994. But in fact, this series actually started off much sooner than that. But let's just rewind and let's start from the beginning. Okay, so The Crow is a supernatural superhero comic book series created by James O'Barr, revolving around the titular character of the same name. The series, which was originally created by O'Barr as a means of dealing with the death of his fiancée at the hands of a drunk driver. It was first published by, the comic itself was first published by Caliber Comics in 1989. It became an underground success and was later adapted into a film of the same name in 1994. The first appearance was in New Caliber Presents issue 1 in January 1989. Now, the actual Crow comic that was called The Crow, its first publication was in February 1989. No coincidence, has to be a good movie. It's born in the same year and month as the one and only Jay Leno. But I know you guys don't care, but I do. But anyways, his alter ego name is Eric. Just as a background for people who are unfamiliar with the Crow franchise, the Crow's abilities consist of enhanced strength, speed, and agility. He also has cat-like reflexes, heightened senses, and a resistance to injury or pain. He also has invulnerability and skilled marksmanship. So one of the biggest differences, I'm just going to elaborate, between the 1994 movie, the original movie. I'm not going to cover too much of the sequels of The Crow. I'm just going to go with this original film from 1994 and the difference between it's the beginning stages of The Crow from there, and I'm going to elaborate on the differences between that in the actual comic book. So in the movie in 1994, Brandon Lee's character was with his girlfriend in his apartment or condo, however you want to call it, in which these burglars came in and murdered him while they murdered him or somehow held him down, and he was injured. But during the time frame that he was injured and basically when he was dead, they raped his wife and killed her as well. And once killed, a Crow had witnessed, and the Crow had gave him these superhero-like abilities, which, okay, this may come to familiarity with you. Now, in the comics, it was a bit different. In the comics, Eric, aka the Crow, and his girlfriend were basically on a road trip and ended up being on foot, and they come across some thugs. These particular thugs had beaten up Eric, aka the Crow, but did not kill him, in which while he was paralyzed or unable to move, he actually witnessed his girlfriend slash wife being raped by these particular gentlemen. But just like the movie, the original comic, the Crow came in after his death and pretty much used the abilities as an Eric was a avatar to the abilities of the Crow. So in the film, pretty much, and it shares it with the comic, so his invulnerability is sustained as long as the actual crow isn't harmed. So if you go back and watch the 1994 film, once that crow is hurt, he's back to being human again. Now, in that movie, there was no display or explanation, or did you see the ceremony which explains where this entity of this, where how this entity from this crow gets its source of power. But if you watch the trailer, the 2024 trailer that just recently came out, it looks like we're going to get an in-depth explanation as to where the source of this power originates from, which is going to make this stand out a lot more than its original. Now, I did look on IMDb and see that they have taken this Crow franchise fairly far in comparison to a lot of other franchises. It's had several sequels. It's actually had its own TV series. So I quite honestly don't want to go and reference and go through every single last one of those to find any reference points, to find any content, to make some familiarity with it. I just want to get to the basics of the comics because that's what Jay Leno does. Jay Leno does comics. Okay? So, but even watching this trailer, we're getting a different design of Eric. All right, his hair is cut, he's tattooed. Pretty much the crow has always had this gothic-like appearance and presence within the film. And with that being said, the question is to the audiences out there, is this going to be acceptable for the generations of Crow fans to come? Is this, but then again at the same time, in 2024, is this what Gothic looks like now? Gothic is definitely different from 1989 than it is now in 2024. That's obviously 35 years of fashion and 35 years of culture that has completely changed. Now, the critique is coming. The acceptance may not be perceived everywhere, but let's just call a spade a spade. Will the new generation accept this Crow film? It could be a huge possibility. And I'll tell you what, if you weren't around for the nostalgia for the original film, these films did not age very well. When I watched the original Crow when it came out, even within that 5 years afterwards, phenomenal movie. But guess what? If you try and get these young adults to watch this film, they're going to find this film rather corny, rather unentertaining, rather simple, very simplistic plot line and dialogue, much like all of the other stuff that's nostalgic that we grew up watching. So I'm going to give this a chance. Not to mention, I would love to take a break from Marvel and DC and these particular type of movies. All right, I need something Spawn-esque in my life these days. Something dark, something gory, something gothic. We're gonna have to wait for Todd McFarlane to give us Spawn. Why can't we accept the boy Crow at this particular moment of our lives? I'm gonna do it. All right. Not to mention, I just want to throw in there out of the blue that the Crow franchise was also picked up by IDW Publishing. Same guys that does Transformers, G.I. Joe, X-Files, Ghostbusters, TMNT. So I'd like to thank IDW Publishing for being involved with this. The success of this film has a small bit of possibility of revenue to help build these other franchises if they're in cahoots. I don't know if IDW has anything to do with the original rights to this character to be a part of Lionsgate Studios, but if anything helps, I would gladly appreciate it. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you watched the original Crow film. Let me know if the trailer was good enough for you if you didn't watch the Crow film, if this could have a possibility of interest you, if they could get an hour and 30 minutes to 2 hours of your time to just enjoy this film. Is this a nostalgic clickbait for people? And of course, you originators, let me know if you're going to give this film a chance. What do you guys think of this original actor? I need answers. I need thoughts. Make sure you hit the like button. This is Jay Leno, and I'm out.
So special.